So the meeting is being recorded.
Are we going to work? Excuse me. Are we going to record in our different groups?
Yes, I've already enabled all of you already now, so yeah, you can be able to do that. So you'll be on the hot seat for those that we have actually put out their names. And please ensure that if your name is on the list that we put on the group, please try and join the respective mentors group. It's important because that's where you face to be on the spotlight, to be able to discuss about what you're doing. And Lukman, your hands is up. You want to say something? Lukman, you have to unmute yourself if you.
Yes, just about now. Thank you. I actually was going to remind you that we're not yet co-hosts, if that is the requirement to record. But since you said you've already done it, but also I realized that we'll have trouble unmuting if we have already muted.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead to unmute once we want to go to the main room, the breakout rooms. It's just trying to control as people are incoming, so a lot of background noise that will affect the entire meeting. Yeah. Then I saw you can see somebody's making, please, whoever is trying to make annotations on my screen, please do not make annotation. Thank you. So a very fast basic interview requirement and advice for you guys is take all the copies of the documents you submitted to PTDF, all the documents, all the original documents and all the photocopies needed. So I'm not sure how many photocopies you need, but please make sure you make a couple number of photocopies, maybe 5, because it's going to be dependent on the number of panelists you have that will be interviewing you at the end of the day, so that you can be able to share all around. And then take all your documents, your awards, your whatsoever, academic results, success, you have innovations, you have patents, you have whatsoever. So that's why I said take your entire portfolio or creative samples, anything that will show that you are excellent and you are the best for the position. Please go ahead and do that and take it on that day. Take with all the photocopies. Then it's important for you to go to the web page of PTDF and know about PTDF. Because for any organization you're going to be interviewed for a particular position, it is expected that you know a little about the organization. So know about PTDF, read about them, know their aims and objective, what is their focus and whatsoever. So it's very important. You might be shocked that somebody might ask you on that day. Then ensure you have prepared questions for the interviewers as well. If you have any, please just prepare a question. Normally after an interview, they can ask you, do you have any question for us? Please don't say no. We always advise people to ask a question. Always ask question. It's important around that. If it's possible, take a notebook and a pen. Sometimes it's just for you to be able to scribble down things while they're talking, and you can be able to answer perfectly. Or they are trying to make a suggestion with regards to your proposal or with regards to your SOP. So as a result of that, they can give you valuable insights to how you can make your work better. In case if you're not selected for this year, you will make your research proposal much better and be more prepared for next year round. And then please go with a positive attitude and be well dressed. So I think based on Nigerian culture, 2 dressings are eminent. Mostly I know my people from the northern part of Nigeria sometimes can go to interviews with the, what's it called, the agbada, the long kaftan. But ensure when you're going with the kaftan, just ensure that it's full, put that cap and everything, you know, and be well represented. if you're going with the English dressing, ensure that you are on a suit. If you don't have a suit, ensure that you're on the ironed shirt and then put a tie on it and then look good. Please don't, for the ladies, get a good gown. Don't go to the interview location dressed shabbily, because I think the popular saying which the way you get addressed based on the way you dress to meet people. So it's important you look nice on that day. So I think on the general overview, the normal slides we used to see about the tips which you discuss better with your mentors once you join the breakout session. And then for the masters, we'll look at this carefully. Those that would join my own group. So if you have any question, I'll take 2 questions now before we go into the breakout rooms immediately. So you have the opportunity to select your mentor, because that's I wouldn't be in charge to do that today. So you have the opportunity to do that today for yourself. And then we can only wish you guys the best. And then we'll see after 1 hour, 15 minutes. So John, go ahead and ask your question.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, John.
Yeah, please, sorry, I don't really understand the breakout rooms and also the groups. Like, how will I be able to join the subgroup for more mentoring?
So once we click on I pop out the breakout room, you'll see different groups. One for Dr. Hanley, one for Dr. Kayode, one for Dr. Lukman, one for Dr. Loshala, and for the masters, you have only 2 groups. One for Muhammad, and the remaining people will stay with me on the main platform.
Okay, like me for masters, I can remain here while the others can
yes, so for you for masters, you can remain here, or you can go ahead to join Muhammad in the other break.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. So Babangida, go ahead, please, and ask your question.
No, sir, it's a mistake.
Okay. Nuruddin? Okay, Nuruddin, I think you're having network issues or something.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Please, I just want to know, before the shortlisting, was the research proposal considered manually or it was filtered using a software?
Which shortlisting, please? The one PTDF update?
Yes.
I will believe that they set up a panel to review that, so I don't think it was software based.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then, sorry, I have another question. I was told by a beneficiary that even when you are okay with the interview, as in you did well in the interview, the final selection still has to do with how many of you coming from your local government area or something. No. I just want to be sure about that.
Yeah, so you're competing at state level, take note. You're not competing at the national level, you're competing with only people. If you're from which state?
I'm from Osun State.
Okay, so take note, you're competing only with all the applicants from Osun State. So if you do well or you don't do well, it depends on the general performance of all the candidates in your state. So I will believe that a ranking will be done, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, based on the scores. because you'll be scored 100. So you have 90, another person has 80, another person has 92. So it will be graded based on that, and they'll pick the top 5, top 4, top 3, top 10. It depends. PTDF might have a lot of money now. It's a new regime and they can decide to increase the number. So it all depends. Huh?
Okay, but as a case study, like how many do you think was picked per state last week? Is it per state equally, or some state they pick more than others?
Per state, but I think some state they might pick additional one. So it all depends on their decision.
So like a maximum of last year for PhD?
Maybe 4 or 5. No?
That would be highly competitive.
That's why we are trying our best to prepare you as much as we can, so that you go there well prepared to face the.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's the last person we're taking. We're going to go out to the breakout rooms now. It's important we just accept if the facilitators have anything to say to everybody before we open the rooms. Yes, Dr. K. I think Dr. K.
Yeah, thank you. I think we need to establish this fact that there is nothing anywhere in the world that is not competitive. You just have to, like what Dr. Joshua said, you just have to be prepared. So I don't expect you to be saying that it's, oh, that would be highly competitive. Yeah. When I went for my interview, I just went there innocently and I was surprised. I was picked. I did all the preparation on my part. So what you are doing now, for me, I know I don't have the opportunity for somebody to really prepare me, and I don't know, maybe it's also like that for all other facilitators here, so you have the opportunity now to hear from people that have experiences, so and that will highly prepare you. But in my own opinion, I know that just do your part, and there are also grades for whatever you graduate with in your university. And I don't know, maybe that was shared to you in the first meeting, which I couldn't attend. And yeah, there are grades for the awards you have. There are grades for if you have a publication and all of that. So they grade you based on all what you can present as evidence, and also your interview. So, and it also depends how people in your state perform, and that's how they are going to rank you. Of course, there are some states that are very highly competitive, because a lot of people will apply from that state, and then it will make it more and more competitive than all other states. Yeah, and I think for PhD, maybe they go for 4 so per state, and I think MS is a bit extended from that. But like what Dr. Julia said, things change every year. They might add more people and all of that. So that's just what I want to chip in. Thank you.
Okay, so if none of the facilitators is saying anything, Dr. K mentioned something. I think I think maybe we'll look at that maybe generally when we're back from the breakout room. So I'm opening all the breakout rooms now. We have 128 people currently. So please, you go ahead to join. If you're a PhD, please go ahead to join the respective PhD group. If you're for masters, go ahead to join Mohammed, and the remaining people that will be left will go ahead to join me, will stay with me on the main platform here, and then we go ahead and we'll just discuss the best that we can. So best of luck, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Dr. Shola, I think you're yet to join your room. So somebody is asking, he doesn't know the room to join. Please, if you're for masters, you can either join Mohammed, or you stay on the main platform with me. If you're for PhD, please go ahead to join any of the rooms. Thank you. I think I've answered you, Hassan. So please, I will say it again for people going for PhD, please go ahead and join the respective rooms. People for masters, you can join Mohammed, or you can stay here with me, and then we can have a good discussion with you guys for the people remaining. So, hi everyone. I'm going to unmute you guys, but please, if you know you have a problem with noise at your background, you'll do us a favor by doing your best as much as possible to mute yourself. So you'll have the opportunity when we're discussing, you can ask your questions, and we can have a good discussion.
Hello, good evening. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So
Good evening, sir.
yeah, so this is why I have to mute everybody, because of the noise at the background.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. What of you now? What of now? Can you hear me?
Okay. Okay. So
Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you guys for joining me once again here. Pardon me, in the course of our discussion, I will be asking for those joining the section for the PhD, please go ahead to join the respective rooms. Thank you. So I will believe everyone that's here is for master's degree. Is that correct? So just give me a thumbs up if what I'm assuming it's correct. Please, I will keep everybody muted except if you have a question, because we need the place to be as quiet as much as possible. Are we good, guys? Okay. So I share my screen again, and then we'll look at your assessment before we go ahead to discuss, and then we'll put the people that we want to put on spotlight to generally see the response and how they could respond to some of the questions that were asked them. So for your interview, please look at this place here. For your interview, they will look at how the level of your comportment when you come into and sit down and they start asking you a question. You have to have a high level of confidence when you're seated. Now, this shows that you know exactly what you're looking for and you're well prepared to face anything that will be required of you during the interview. So you have to comport yourself as much as possible. And I believe that you have done a lot of interviews to look for jobs and so on. So this will not be new to you. Now, whatsoever you have to say on that day concerning the future project you're going to do, the course you're going to study, must be applicable to the oil and gas sector or to the environment or to the IT or anything. Remember, PTDF, it's one of the agencies that are in charge of taking remittance from the oil and gas to use the remittance in order to build the human capacity in terms of developing human capacity and developing a lot of centers that could build the future leaders, future scientists, future researchers, and future industrial experts within that could contribute positively to generally the economy of Nigeria. So you must understand that anything you have to say on that day has to be within the frameworks, within the vision, within the focus of PTDF. It's important. Do not say anything that's outside what they need. Secondly, the knowledge of the subject matter. You want to go in for artificial intelligence and machine learning, you should be able to discuss about that with the panelists. You want to go in for petroleum geosciences, you should be able to some level discuss that when they ask you certain question with your superior, with the panelists. You want to go in for financial economy or anything. So please be knowledgeable in whatsoever you wrote in your statement of purpose. So, and other things they will look at for is your qualification. Now you must understand all your qualification, they will follow it to see how it's all about past experiences and past consistencies. So your future employer or whoever that wants to give you grants is looking for people that have consistent history of success. Because if we give somebody that has consistent history of success, then we have high probability and possibility that this guy or this lady will succeed at the end of the day. So these are some of the things they are looking at for. So that's why they're allocating marks. If you say you graduated with the first class from your first degree, I think it has a 5 marks. If you say it's a 2-1, it has a 4 marks or something like that. So everything you're bringing on that day, it's going to be marked. If you say, oh, I won 5 scholarships during my undergraduate day, please provide all evidences for the 5 scholarship and all will have marks. I think so. I think they have a threshold, but I think maybe 1 mark for each or 2 marks. It depends on what they want to do on that day. So I remembered when I needed to, because during my undergraduate, I think I had about 3 fundings, 3 scholarships, share, total I think Ajit or so, and I had to look for the document, which probably I lost, but I remembered calling my mother in Adama, like, look for wheresoever these documents are as a proof for me to submit. So it's important you look for the documents to support your claim. Secondly, publications. If you have publication, perfect, please present it in case they request for it. Professional membership, whatsoever, please provide all necessary document requested. Even if they forget to ask you of something, you might ask, okay, you have so document, is it relevant? Because you are trying to be the best of the best. I can assure you that the level of competition is very, very, very high. And no matter the state you're coming from Nigeria, you have smart people all across Nigeria. So you need to be the most smartest among all the smart, all other smart people within your terrain. Okay, I think we've spoken about national, international awards, publication. Then during the interview, they will judge your level of motivation. They will judge your aspiration, what you want to do, what you want to achieve. And these are some of the things we'll look at for when we're asking the people who want to put on spotlight. What do you want to gain after the studies? You want to have a master's in petroleum engineering. What will you use it for? You want to have a master's in aeronautics. What will you use it for after you're back to the country? How can your new acquired education, new acquired experience, new acquired knowledge, how can you use it and translate it to a local, at the local context now to improve generally the GDP of Nigerian economy or anything as the case may be. So they will judge all those. They will look at, like I said, all previous experiences. Oh, I want to go for petroleum engineering. Currently, I'm working as a petroleum reservoir for a particular oil and gas company. And based on my work, I have experienced so and so there's this current problem taking place. And we know that to solve this problem, we kind of need a little more about knowing technicality and so on. So these are some of the things you must know to be able to prove to them that you understand the subject matter, what you want to go and do. It's not just by chance or by luck that you want to do this, or because it's the new trend, no, but because you're really interested. You're really interested to make a difference, and you understand, and you've been able to identify that there's a problem, but then you need to get a master's degree to be able to contribute effectively to the existing problem. So I will stop here and then make an announcement for people joining us now. If you're joining us for PhD, please go ahead to join the respective breakout room, and we'll just need the masters here. For the masters, you can stay here or you can join Muhammad in his own group. Thank you. Okay, guys. So I need to know how many we are here. I think we're about 60 something here on the main platform. So we'll go ahead to put the people we want to put on spotlight. Now take note, if we are able to finish with the people I have on time, I will randomly select some of you to be on spotlight. Is that okay by you guys? Is that okay? Okay, so this is just kind of like an impromptu, because I believe that you must have been getting prepared over and over and over to this particular day. And I think you guys are starting on Monday. So I should expect that you should do better. Even after this session, you should be able to get one or two things that will improve your section. So pardon me, I have to pull out to know the people that I'll be working with now. Just a minute. So I think I have Isaac Sambo. Is Isaac here? I will be working with Isaac Sambo, Nwanko, Ikeoma, Simon Ezekiel, Abdurrahman Umar, Saku Emmanuel, Akinse, Abosede Peace, Agbane Isaac or Ojodo, and then Priscilla Beatrice. Are you all here? So I think you just need to raise your hand and then I can start with anybody. So I think I can go with, I think I just saw Nwanko Ikeoma. It's Ikeoma, we start with you. Hi, Ikeoma. I need to see you. Raise your hand, please. Then I unmute you. Okay, thank you. I will ask you to unmute so that, and if it's possible, to put your video, that would be perfect, because we want to put you at the spotlight now. Ikeoma, I'm asking you to unmute, so go ahead to unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, so we'll pin Ikeoma.
Thank you very much. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Ikeoma. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm fine. Thank you very much to have me. And good evening to all participants.
So you guys will give me a minute. I need to fetch your, I think your SOP that you sent, and then we start from there. So Ikeoma happens to be the first candidate we're going to deal with, guys. So one thing I want you to, you just have to carefully listen to what he's going to say, and pick one or two things. And then if you have a comment from him, now all other people that are on this platform are the panelists. So at the end of the day, I'm going to request you provide this guy's insights to what you think they can improve or what not to improve. So generally, as a form of introduction, we'll start now. We'll take the next 5 minutes to 10-minute max just to discuss with Ikeoma, see how Ikeoma will do. Is that fine? So Ikeoma, and if you want to ask Ikeoma a question, please go ahead. I will say all other people drop your hands. Now, when I ask for a question, if you want to ask directly to him, I will ask two people to just raise their hands. And then I will ask the two people to ask Ikeoma a question. So I want us to be the panelists, to be everything, just to have a good experience. Is that okay? So Ocheze, Njoku, and Engineer Dediron, I think we can drop your hands for now. Okay, so Ikeoma, why do you want to have a master's degree in chemical engineering?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I really want to further my education to have a master's degree in chemical engineering. Having gotten an undergraduate degree in chemical engineering, I really observed in the course of my internship in Nigerian gas company and my industrial visits to the Nigerian refinery in Port Harcourt, I discovered that there was so many inadequacies in the oil and gas sector, just like the gas flaring, the industrial discharge of toxic materials into the atmosphere, into the environment, and total dependency on crude oil as our backup for economic evaluation and economic progress. So I had this passion to really advance my studies, knowing that chemical engineering has a vital role to play in the oil and gas sector, helping to optimize the efficiency of production processes and cost evaluation, and also the environmental. It also studies the environmental impact, trying to tackle the impact of the gas flaring and the discharge of toxic materials into the environment, and also to develop new technologies. This will settle the issue of total dependency on crude oil for economic growth, introducing new technologies like the biorefining, and to deviate from just crude oil refining into biorefining, and also having this knowledge, this advanced knowledge in chemical engineering, it will also help in the upstream operation of the oil and gas sector, using the principles of chemical engineering to design and optimize extraction of crude oil and the natural gases from the underground reservoirs. And even in the downstream operations too, chemical engineers are really important in the refining of crude oil into various petroleum products. And in the development of new technologies too, chemical engineering plays vital roles.
Okay, let me interrupt you. So, I know there are a lot of advances in chemical engineering, and chemical engineering is kind of wide. So why do you think that the UK is the best place to go and acquire this technology? We had other opportunity for you to go to France, to go to Germany, and when you're talking about technology and advanced technology, Germany is top in some of those domains. So why did you choose UK and the university you selected to go for?
Okay, I made my researches about UK and the involvement of UK in this green technology, in the advancement of biofuels and biorefining. And the UK is really doing well in that their economy. They are already advancing their technologies into transforming their technology and transforming their economy into purely biorefining and renewables to conserve the environment and also to boost their economy. And also in UK, I will have so many research opportunities and industrial placements to carry out my researches, and so many opportunities and career prospects. Studying in being a graduate from having my research in UK will actually help my career prospects. It will broaden my my career opportunities too.
Okay, so tell me about your undergraduate project. I'm really interested to know about, you mentioned about Cybersecurity. Let's tell me a little about your undergraduate project in the next 1 minute, please. Limit my answer to 1 minute.
I worked on the simulation and production of bioethanol from raw materials, from local raw materials, cassava wastewater, using Saccharomyces cerevisiae as an alternative source of fuel. This research focused on the utilization of local raw material known as the biomass, encouraging the use of biomass, which is quite environmentally friendly, unlike the fossil fuel. So we talked about more on dealing with indigenous materials we have here and transforming it into fuel that is used and also boosting the economy. So I really worked on this projects to also improve the economic analysis of Nigeria, of my country, Nigeria, and to also deviate from just basic dependency on fossil fuel, but in search of renewable sources too, sources that wouldn't get depleted after a while. So this research really focused on these aspects too.
So let's assume we don't select you for this scholarship. What will you do?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
If you're not selected for this scholarship, what will you do? What will be your next line of action?
Okay, if I'm not selected, it shouldn't discourage me at all, because this is where I have my passion. Having gathered all this information, I will definitely also get to make more impact, more research, and also explore more opportunities to also feed my passion in this regard, to make sure that I obtain an advanced study in this area, and also to help in the economic advancement of Nigeria, and also to, as a chemical engineer, to make impacts in the environmental impacts of crude oil, to make sure that I provide, or I actually I impact in the oil and gas industry with my knowledge. So I wouldn't give up. I would keep exploring many opportunities too.
Don't you think this studies you want to do, it has been done in Nigeria? Why not just stay in Nigeria within a particular university, local university that's done things around what you're doing and make a difference? To travel?
Okay, why I want to do it in UK, actually, like I stated before, I want to do it in a place where this is already practiced in UK, and this is where I'm going to get.
It's already been practiced in Nigeria. Just need more people to keep working on it. So there's a technology here as well. So that's why you were able to do your undergraduate research.
Yeah. Yes. Why I really want to advance it abroad is I would definitely have an opportunity to work with advanced technologies that may not really be available here.
Can you give me an example of this advanced technology you've been mentioning?
Can I?
Give me an example of this advanced technology. You kept using the words advanced technology. Just give us one example of it.
Okay, advanced technology that can be used in biorefining.
Yeah.
Yes, instead of going with the CDU, the catalytic distillating unit, we can actually get into a more innovated equipment, technology that could do these things without expelling so much heat into the environment, toxic substances too.
From what you have just said now, you have not mentioned a particular name of the technology, because every technology must have a name.
Sir?
I said every technology must have a name.
Yes, sure.
If what you're doing is more around, you're trying to maybe improve the catalytic process or that you mentioned, what is currently the new technology? What's the name that is currently used by the people in the UK? Because you're really interested in going to the UK, so I must assume that you have done your research well.
Yes, for the technology, that is why I really want to get to study there, because I will be introduced to these new technologies I didn't even know for now.
Okay.
So that's why I'm having good prospects to study out there, so that I'll be exposed to these technologies, because I believe that there are more advanced technologies that are used over there.
Okay, so I think I'll stop here. So anybody has question for Ikeoma? One person. Let's give opportunity to one person. If you have question for Ikeoma. Anybody? Okay, so we have confidence. So confidence, go ahead and ask. I'll take confidence. So confidence, please go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. So, Mr.
I'm not sure.
Can you speak up?
Can you speak up?
Can you hear me, sir?
Okay.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Okay, go ahead, we'll manage.
Okay, so Mr. Ikeoma, I want to ask, so please, what are your long-term career goals in your field of study, and how does this master degree that you want to pursue in this field align with those goals?
The second question, I didn't get it.
So he's asking, I will reiterate, he's asking you about your long-term career goals, the masters you want to acquire, how will it align with your long-term career goals?
Okay, yeah, my long-term career goals definitely is making impact in the oil and gas sector in Nigeria. And really, I want Nigerian economy, Nigerian oil and gas sector to move from just total dependence on crude oil to having another new stream, new value stream of production too, that's going into biorefining too. So my long-term goals is to make impacts with my knowledge, with my acquired knowledge and skills from this master's program, to make more impact in this oil and gas sector, and also utilize my opportunities. Of course, as a PTDF scholar, I've already had the platform already to also step up to make this impact and to give back to the country.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, Ikeoma. I think we'll stop for Ikeoma here. So do you think Ikeoma has done well for now, guys? Okay, so some people are giving you a thumbs up, but almost some are kind of quiet. Okay, so I will take the next person. Is Simon Ezekiel, is he here?
Excuse me, sir. I want to get your own analysis too.
Okay, okay. Do you want us to be giving feedback immediately or after?
I think immediately is okay.
Okay, so I think for me, I think you understood your undergraduate master's project, and you were able to say it clearly, personally, and I think you were able to state clearly what you wanted to do and how relevant the master's will be. But other things you need to think out clearly is, it's very tricky when you're asked, what will you do if you're not selected for it?
Okay.
It's a normal question, because if we don't give you this position, what will happen to your life? So you have to tell them now at this point, it's not trying to discourage you, but to try to show passion that you actually want this now. So if I will answer in a different way, if you ask me, what happens if you don't get this job? I think as much as I don't want to, it will be unfortunate if I'm not selected, I will continue as a researcher working with local people within the Nigerian universities to ensure that this research, because of the nature and the magnitude of the problem, will make a difference to it. However, it is important that I get the funding to go about doing it in with UK, whatever university you're going to do in the UK. However, you would prefer to do it there because, one, it gives you opportunity to learn the new technologies you mentioned. It gives me the opportunity to expand my level of collaboration. So it gives more perspective generally when it comes to knowledge base, not just with local people, but we have international experts that will contribute generally to the project. And then it gives you to grow that in turn, it's making you to grow your network extensively. So for research that will be done with respect to the future, it should not just be seen with just one or two people within the local community, but when we can bring in diverse experiences and knowledge together, we could improve the economy of Nigeria. So you don't answer such a question by taking the negative part. You always boost it with the positive to show that you're motivated to get it.
Okay,
so,
sir. Thank you.
I think we'll stop here. So we'll take the next person. Is Simon Ezekiel on?
So
I mute you now. I will take the next person because we have to be fast as much as possible. So sorry, I need to confirm the names we have. Simon Ezekiel, are you on? Just raise your hand, Simon Ezekiel, if you're on. Okay, the next person I have is Abdurrahman Umar. Are you around? Abdurrahman Umar? Is Abdurrahman Umar around? No. Isaac Sambo, are you on? Can you raise your hands, please? Isaac Sambo. Isaac Sambo is not here as well. Is Saku Emmanuel around? Is Saku Emmanuel around? Saku is not around. Okay. Agbani Isaac. It's Agbani Isaac around. Agbani Isaac. Okay, so we'll take Agbani Isaac. So I'll go ahead to. I'm asking you to unmute now. Then we'll appreciate if we can have a video as well or something. Okay, Agbani, I have to just a minute to pick up here.
I'm sorry about where I am currently. I stepped away from every distraction at home to stay where I can have a serene environment to attend this session.
Okay. So I'm trying to fetch Agbani's, I'm not sure precisely which.
Yes, it's 63. You will see it saved as 63 something something 630. Sorry about that.
Okay, 66023. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So we're taking Agbani now and we'll put him on the spotlight so everybody can listen to him. And let's see what. So I will take the first two people that will ask Agbani a question. Go ahead. Just raise your hand if you want to ask him a question. Ikeoma, you can. I'll lower your hand. So I need two people that can ask Agbani a question. So Ayo, go ahead, please. So Dayo, you can go ahead. Hi, Dayo. Hi, Dayo. Okay, I think I'll work with Dayo. Dayo seems not to be available again. I'll go ahead to work with, it's Abubakar Hashim available. Abubakar Hashim?
Yes, yes, I can hear.
Okay, so we work with Abubakar Hashim. Then I think Ahmad Aminu wants to ask question as well. Is that correct, Ahmad? Ahmad? Ahmad Aminu? Okay, we work with, so Abubakar Hashim?
Yes.
I'll work with you. Let's ask him the questions. So,
okay.
Yeah,
Ahmad, I'm available. I'm sorry.
Okay, Ahmad is available. So 3 of us are going to ask him questions for the next this 5-10 minutes. Is that okay with you, 2 of you?
I'm available, sir. Ahmad.
Yes, so Ahmad and Abubakar, we are the panelists.
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me, Ahmad?
Hello.
Yes, Ahmad, we can hear you. So Ahmad,
Hello,
Abubakar,
good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Ahmad. I said myself, you, and Abubakar, we are the panelists. So go ahead and ask Isaac your question. So Isaac I go ahead and ask him question. He will introduce what he wants to go and do and whatsoever. So go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, Mr. Isaac.
Yeah,
a wonderful presentation. But I want to ask about pertaining your presentation. I want to ask you about developing the interests. How do you develop the interest of that being, you want to be a chemical engineer, you want to do your MSc in chemical engineering?
I think you have missed the context of this meeting, possibly.
Okay, Ahmad, hello, Ahmad, can you hear me? Ahmad, now we're asking.
I hope I'm communicating.
Hi, Ahmad.
I'll
mute Ahmad and then Abubakar, go ahead, please.
How many minutes?
Abubakar, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. The question I want to ask is, there are many scholarships out there. Why do you think that PTDF is the best scholarship for you? Why do you think you deserve this scholarship? It's 2 questions.
Okay, the reason why I feel PTDF is the best scholarship for me is because of the aim and objective of PTDF, which is towards developing me fit for the fit for industrial and economic development of my country, Nigeria. I've been passionate about on exploring the nexus between energy and the environment. This passion led me to intern at the Benue State Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency, where I carried out many projects, and with the aim of gaining more knowledge through the PTDF scholarship, I hope to come back to Nigeria to better the economy. So I feel that PTDF is the best platform for me because of the aims and objectives of PTDF, which is solely to develop me for the betterment of the economy of Nigeria. And as an astute and a passionate individual that is fascinated by the growth of his country, I pick PTDF over every form of scholarship.
Okay, I will ask you as a follow-up, if you're picking PTDF, there are all other scholarships across both locally and nationally. PTDF doesn't even pay as high as other international fellowship. So if you get an international fellowship, which pays higher, and you get PTDF, which will you go for?
Okay, thank you for this follow-up question. Like I said earlier, the interest is not in what the monetary value, but in the form of value that I receive, in potential value I receive that prepares me for the opportunity that is available in my country, Nigeria. The other fellowship may have maybe better monetary value, but may not have the aim, focus, and objective of developing the crucial part of the Nigeria economy, which is the oil and gas industry.
So what if the scholarship is actually helping you to contribute to the political system and business structures in Nigeria?
Of course, the oil and gas industry needs the political system and every other aspect of the economy to do well. If there is political instability or bankruptcy in the system, the oil and gas industry will definitely suffer. So I feel that every contribution, that everything that is needed to prepare me for the opportunity to be more impactful to Nigeria as a country, especially to the oil and gas industry, I will do. And I hope that getting this scholarship would give me that platform to contribute positively to the economic development of Nigeria.
So I think from your SOP, you said you want to do a master's degree in energy, environment, science, and technology. Is that correct?
Yes, you're very correct, sir.
So I'm really someone that's not really optimistic about all this renewable energy. I believe that the oil and gas still has a future. Fossil fuel still has future. And you could see that recently we just had an individual. So why do you think renewable energy it's important for the future when we're yet to even utilize the entire reserves we have for the oil with identified reserves of oil and gas in Nigeria yet?
Okay, from the content of the course I hope to study through the PTDF scholarship, it is not aimed at, it's not fostering advancing the cost of renewable energy in Nigeria. Rather, it is exploring the intersection between the energy and environment, which out of my curiosity, I want to further this interest by exploring sustainable exploration pathway for oil and gas without deleterious effect on our climate and water resources.
So we have major, if I follow the history of oil and gas sector in Nigeria, we have been having a lot of issues around the environment when you look at the Niger Delta. And recently, we just had discovered oil, the inland basins around the Gombe-Bauchi axis. What do you think we can do not to repeat the level of environmental degradation been observed in the oil in the Niger Delta, and when you compare with what we can do in the inland basin within the Gombe-Bauchi axis?
Permit me to share a little experience I had while I interned at the Benue State Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency, where we were sponsored by UNICEF to carry out water hygiene and sanitation. We went to different rural communities and collected water samples. We analyzed using atomic absorption photospectrometer for the different physicochemical properties of the water and advised the community on what and what not to do. And we compared the water we got from that community with the NSDQ, that's the Nigeria Standard for Drinking Water Quality, and the WHO. And the result of that project was compiled into a manuscript which I published with the International Journal of Applied Chemistry and Biology. So I know that the major problem of Nigeria is not really that we have oil in this place, but the practice in the exploration of the oil. And this I hope to better through the PTDF scholarship by going to countries like France, which are, as you know, like in 2018, France came together for the Paris Agreement, where they are tilting towards a carbon-free environment by 2050. So if this becomes the objective of Nigeria to meet the Sustainable Development Goal, SDG goals of also maintaining our climate, we will know that the exploration will take caution during the exploration. So I hope that through this scholarship, I will be able to understand more advancedly how to mine these resources, how to drill this earth resource, which is in abundance and which is very, very paramount to our economic development, without having to negatively impact our environment. So it is a good thing that it has been discovered in places like Gombe. And of course, I will not fail to mention my state, Kogi State. It has already been discovered in Kogi State, the boundary between Kogi and Anambra State. So I hope that this is a good news. If only we can manage the exploration process by paying more attention to the environmental effects this exploration may cause, and put measures in place such as carbon sequestration and other advanced measures that could help to curtail CO2 emissions.
Okay. Abubakar, do you have a question for him?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
All this your research potential and your aim to, when you come back to Nigeria, you want to impact the economy as the aim of and the objective of the PTDF. Do you think this is not possible in Nigerian institutions, that you can still do this, your research work and studies in Nigeria and be able to foster this economic prosperity?
Okay, not to undermine the educational sector of Nigeria. Of course, they have prepared me through the bachelor's degree for this opportunity. But I know that through collaboration with different countries, understanding how their system works, where there are sophisticated equipment and materials, I'll be able to bring groundbreaking discoveries that will better our own process. Of course, it is not a disadvantage when we have different experiences and different practices from different places contributing to the growth of the process in our own country, Nigeria. So that's why I feel that going abroad also give that diversity, that allowance, that space for us to accommodate different policies and different methods and approach to caution this very important environmental issue.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So tell me one thing. If you're coming to France, I know France has. When you look at the culture-wise, we have two different cultures. We're an English-speaking country in Nigeria. Then you're going to a French-speaking country. How do you think you can survive if the education will be taught in French and then you're in English?
One of my innate ability, and I appreciate, is the fact that I can quickly adapt to situations and learn new skills and languages. So I hope that it will be an advantage for me if my program switches to French. I understand that the French government, knowing that I'm an English-speaking person, will give me the allowance and accommodation to learn French within a period of time, which I know that I have the ability to learn if given the opportunity. And it will now become an added advantage. Of course, I'm going to get a master's degree in energy environment, and at the same time, going to become proficient in the use of French.
Okay, I think we're going to stop here. Thank you, Isaac. I think you're good. So I will listen to response from other people. So I'll have two people give me the response you feel with regards to the session we had with Isaac. Is that okay, guys? So just two people that can raise their hands, and then we'll give them the go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Emeka, I'm allowing, muting you, asking you to unmute, so go ahead. I need your response.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, so Isaac has demonstrated knowledge about his proposed master course. So I think he had the ability to link it with his bachelor's degree, and then also linking it with the jobs he has done as well, like maybe volunteering or whatever activity, maybe or full-time employment. So I think Isaac is good to go. And also, why I picked interest in his interview is basically because I'm going for a similar course like him. Well, mine is project management for environment and energy engineering at IMT Atlantic, France. So I understand a lot of things he said and presented his case and his motivation very strongly. I say he has done a nice job. Well done, Isaac.
Okay, thank you. Any other person? Okay, so person, okay, so Terry, so I'm asking you to unmute and give Isaac Sweber, you can go ahead to ask, I'm asking you to unmute, and then you can go ahead to give a comment.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
I can say he has done a very good job, but from my experience last year during my interview, one of the panel was telling me about speaking fast, that I should try to be speaking slowly so that the panels can capture my points one after the other. So I don't know, I feel like he talks too fast. I don't know if somebody else observed that, but he has done a very good job.
Okay. So I think where is Isaac? I cannot see Isaac again. Okay. So I think generally, Isaac, are you with me? Okay, I'll ask you to unmute. So overall, I think you've done a good job. What I noticed is you actually know your onions, and I'm glad that you could relate it. You're a bit current with generally the policies around what you want to go and do, and that shows it's beyond just knowing the technical things, but you understand the politics, the economy all around what you want to do. So that's good, a good kudos. So all I can say is you're at least 80–90% ready. All you need to do, articulate more of your points. I think with Sueba, I think Isaac spoke a bit faster, probably because he knows what to say and he wants to beat the time, and that warrants to him speaking fast. But then, like she suggested, you can go ahead to reduce the speed at which you speak so that people can be able to capture all in details what you're saying. Is that good? So I think we're stopping for Isaac. Best of luck. So we take the next person. So so if the people we already wanted to look at their stuffs are not available, I'm going to call other people that will put them on spotlight, please. So is Isaac Sambo around? Isaac Sambo, okay. Please, if you're around, I need you to just give a thumbs up, because I wouldn't be able to be seeing the chats in case for those that want to type. Simon Ezekiel, are you around? No. Abdurrahman Umar, are you around? Saku Emmanuel, are you around? Okay, we have Saku Emmanuel. So I'm asking you to unmute and put it on spotlight, and we work with Saku. Hi, Saku Emmanuel.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. How are you? So
yeah, sorry, they just took our lights, so I'm just using a
no
flashlight.
problem. Don't worry, we're good.
Yes, sir.
So Isaac, it's on. Sorry, Emmanuel, Saku, it's on. So sorry, Emmanuel, I have to fetch your document so to see what you're precisely working on. I'm really unsure if you send me a Word document. I don't think it's a Word document. So go ahead. Tell me, you said you have 5 years experience. How will you connect that with the masters you want to do? You have 5 years experience. What do you need masters for?
Yes, I need masters. Reason being that I need to do good. I need to step up. I need to kind of add more knowledge to that I have, because like in the exploration industry, I believe I have at least a field knowledge. So I want to like make it an advanced and more technical way. That's why I need a master's, because there's that aura that comes with that mastery, makes you put, it ups one's game and skills boost.
If I get you, you want a master's for your own personal pride?
No, not for my own personal pride, but rather for the pride of my own country, because what I gain is what I will give to the society, because I cannot be a living without adding value to the society or the country of which I come from.
But you have 5 years experience in mining and geology generally, and mining. So for somebody, I know for someone that have worked for at least with 5 years experience, we should be talking that you have moved from being a novice to somebody getting to more a senior person in this field. So tell me, out of your 5 years experience, what are the common problems you have seen? Because you want to do a master's in petroleum geosciences in Malaysia. So what do you think is the major problem with your 5 years experience in the field that you need a master's to solve? We can't hear you. Isaac, we cannot hear you. You have to unmute yourself. Sorry, Emmanuel, we cannot hear you. I'm asking you to unmute yourself. We cannot hear you.
I've already unmuted myself. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Let me connect again.
Okay.
Let me connect again.
We can
you
hear
me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. With the experience of which I have and the problem of which I encounter is basically most times, like in the mineral exploration of which I have experience on, like most especially during core drilling, most times there are chances of it will make void spaces, that is void fractures within the subsurface. So we try, that is, I'm just trying to find out what are the major causes of those fractures and what are those fractures for? Because like the last drilling of it we had in Elisha, particularly about this gold mineralization there. So there was this, there are a series of caving and series of fluid loss and the rest. So that thing has become, that thing is becoming an issue unto me, because I try to understand what is behind it, what are the major causes of it. So I now say, no, I just need to advance myself in this very aspect so as to know and so as to kind of mitigate everything that has to do with, that is how to solve those problems of number one, core losses, number two, the fluid loss at the same time, and number three, what are the causes of that caving in? What are the major causes?
Okay, so Emmanuel, You have experience in mining geology. Why do you want to deviate to petroleum geosciences?
Yes, because with the skills of which I have, the skills of which I have in GIS, the skills I have in GIS and analytical analysis and problem solving. So I think there's that need for me to go into the petroleum industry, because I believe like petroleum industry provide about, that is, if not above 80% of the, that is of Nigerian GDP. So going into that will help me, or will help to kind of solve so many problems within the oil sector, like my the proposed research of which I said I want to reservoir characterization and simulation modeling and the rest. So that area now, with that skills of which I have in data analysis and the rest, will help me. And of course, if I should use the machine language skills of which I believe I can make I believe we can solve so many problems on characterizing some of these most of these reservoirs.
So what I'm curious about is, I don't think you've answered my question well. The problems you noticed were in mining geology. Why not do a master's degree in mining so that you could solve the problem in mining? We can sponsor you to go for the master's in mining because you noticed there was a problem there. So if you want to go into the oil and gas generally and to do a master's in petroleum geosciences, don't you think that you are leaving the problem you just noticed behind and you're trying to do another thing?
Actually, it's not that I'm leaving the problem behind, but rather adding more skills and flowing with the trend, that is the latest technology, in characterizing the reservoirs of which we have. And again, with the loss, that is because this caving in, core losses and the rest is not only in mining, in mining geology. It also affects every other aspect of geosciences. Like if you go to the in drilling, in drilling, there are so many things in drilling for oil and gas. There are so many times of which you heard about cases of core losses, about fluid loss.
Just a question. So, tell me about core losses.
Okay, like core losses now happens to be like, maybe there are chances of which when in the process of drilling, that is in the process of drilling, you can't even kind of strip any core from the borehole of which you are drilling. And
But,
secondly, again,
what do you think is responsible for me not being able to acquire a core?
Yes, there are other factors that are responsible to that, which are, number one, is either a fracture or weathered. So that is weathered surface.
No, you can only talk about weathering at the subsurface, more shallow zones. You can only talk about, so if you're talking about weathering, you can't talk about weathering of samples that are far depth buried.
Okay. So talking about these core losses, like if you go, that is deep down, because there are times of which maybe at the base where there is that fracture, because fracture, where there is that fracture, where that is, if the drilling bit gets to that fracture, that possibly there will be a void around that place, and you can't recover any core from any void space.
But is that a problem? Okay, I don't want to take you through to technical things because I'm an expert on that. So that might not be a problem because you're going to acquire well logs when you're
yes, sir. Yes.
And if you have meat fractures, you have all this, you have resistivity logs, you have VP log that will identify to you that this is a void space. And since you cannot acquire anything, but you have cuttings that you can get, and in the place of not acquiring cores, and take note that cores are not acquired all along the borehole. Cores are only acquired at depth interval of interest.
Yes.
So it might not be a problem as such as you're saying. And if you're talking about fluid loss and all this, it will come as a result of poor estimation of pressure condition, poor pressure conditions within the formation. So if that is done, you will always drill within a particular, using a particular mud weight that is in between, that will sustain not having under drilling or having over drilling, but yeah, within the balance. So as such, you will not have hydrofracturing, you will not have the conditions where you have caving because the pore pressures from the formation is higher than the fluid pressure within the borehole. So if these are already things that are already known and done in the oil sector, so I'm really curious about what's new you want to bring to this knowledge, to what's happening. Hi, Emmanuel. I think we can't hear you. No, we cannot hear you, Emmanuel.
Can you hear me, sir?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yes, you said what's new do I have to add up to the already existing knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, like the recent technology and.
So give me an example of the recent technologies. Oh, we cannot hear you again. We cannot hear you. No, we cannot hear you, Emmanuel.
Can you hear me, sir?
Okay, we can hear you now, Emmanuel. I think your network is a bit poor. So, hi, Emmanuel. Okay, so I think Emmanuel, your network it's poor.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you. Just give me your last response, and then I think we can take the next person now.
Okay, like I was saying, I think something new that I want to like maybe put into it is machine learning and artificial intelligence. I think that's just the new thing that I just want to like, I feel to apply it to that reservoir characterization.
Do you have knowledge about that, or you want to gain it as a new knowledge for you during the month?
Yes, I have a knowledge on that, sir.
Okay, so tell me one of the machine learning methods you've used.
Huh?
Tell me one of the machine learning methods you've used to do reservoir characterization before.
Yeah, like basically the machine learning. Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Tell me one of the methods you've used. We can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Emmanuel. Can you tell me one of the machine learning methods you've used before? For any
Yes, I've used
for any
sir?
project. Tell me one method you've used for any project.
Yes, Peter.
You
I
said?
use Python. Python.
So Python is the programming language you use to do,
yes,
with the use of Python libraries to do machine learning.
yes, sir.
Which of the machine learning methods have you used? Have you used multi-layer perceptron? Have you used
Yes, multi-layer perception, sir.
support vector machines? Have you used?
No, multi-layer perception.
Okay.
This one will stop me now.
So I think we'll stop here for Emmanuel. So I need 2 people that will give Emmanuel response. Then I will give you a general response to you. So Agbani, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for the invaluable opportunity. Mr. Emmanuel, I feel you understand your field, but you are missing up a whole lot of concepts, and I think you are also misplacing geologic jargons, and it's already putting you at a disadvantage. Yes, you already know what you like, you had experience, but I think the theoretical way to place your knowledge rightly is still not solid in my own little review, right? So, and I also feel that if you have gotten a lot of experience in mining geology, instead of, there are very closed, fields to this that you would have maybe, focus on talking about something like, okay, in mining geology, this one like core logging. If you are going into petroleum geology, and you are going to drilling and all of it, you are going to be doing more of well logging. And you have also learned a lot of software that have given you advantage in terms of analysis, and all of them are geologic. Of course, you're going to learn something like Petra, geographics for, when you go into petroleum, and you're going to go into more of data processing and all. So I feel that you'd have said, oh, you have gotten advantage in data processing while you are doing this, and you have been able to acquaint yourself with software, and which has similarity with software. And if I go into petroleum, it's going to be another advantage, because before you go into drilling or study petroleum, you must understand your terrain. And mining is generally understanding your terrain, irrespective of whether it's going to be a sedimentary terrain or in any kind of terrain, whether any kind of terrain, of course. If you are doing mining too, sorry if I'm talking too much, but if you are doing mining, you're also talking about soft environment too, like, yes, we're going to talk about that. And petroleum are all basin, and of course, if you are doing mining, you have a whole lot of knowledge of basin analysis, because there are a lot of mineral resources and all of that. So you could have spoken more of those kind of things that is more like at the edge. So that's my little review. I feel you understand what you did, but you're not linking it properly to give us the perception that, oh, this guy knew what he's particularly going to do.
Okay, I agree with you, Isaac. I'll take the others before I give my candid response. Confidence, go ahead, please. Confidence? Confidence, Michael, go ahead.
Can you hear me now, please? Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Thank you very much. I can hear you.
Confidence, go ahead. I think confidence has a lot of noise. Confidence where you are is noisy. So our confidence, you probably move. I'll ask Dio to contribute. Dio, please go ahead. Dio.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, before I go ahead, I would like us to hear from all this management sciences students also. So I don't know if we have anyone that is going for a course in management science that can just give us something.
Okay, so if we have anyone going for management science, send me a message and then we can pick you among the people that we'll just talk with in a few minutes away from now. So go ahead with your contribution to Emmanuel.
Yeah, about Emmanuel, I would just say the other speakers, the other people have really said about, they could give their comments about it, is that he didn't really connect whatever he did in his undergrad with this, and based on the experience he said he had, he didn't really connect it well with the masters he's going for. So I believe if we just choose a course, if you choose a course that is closer to his master's degree, that it would have been even better, and we even have a lot to say about it. So that's my take on it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Emmanuel, are you with me? Emmanuel?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Okay, so I agree with Isaac and I agree with Dio. So as a kind of like summary, but we can still discuss. So remember, guys, that whosoever that's going to interview you is going
Yes,
to,
sir.
they're all going to be expert in the field.
Okay, sir.
Now, like Emmanuel, unfortunately, you see, if I'm sitting on your panel, I would drill you so much because remember, I have so Emmanuel, so for
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
if I'm part of your panelists, because I'm an expert, I have a master's in petroleum geosciences, and that's what you want
Yes,
to do. And I have a PhD in geophysics, and I built methods along hydrogeology, along drilling boreholes. And then I'm an expert in machine learning and AI. So it's like you're going to, if you're in my hands, I'll end up ensuring that if I want to send your name forward, I must ensure that you understand what you're doing and what you're about to do in geosciences, because part of the panelist is somebody that is more advanced in what you want to go and do. So your ability to be able to connect all the points, like Isaac said, is very important. You must prove to me as a geologist that you understand the basic geology, you understand out of experience with the mining and the common related problems you have in mining geology, and then you bring that knowledge now to petroleum geosciences. Now, yes, mining of minerals, and this is a bit different when you look at extracting for petroleum, oil, and gas generally, but then all these are all interlinked. And then currently, a lot of technology being used within the oil and gas is being attempted in the mining to see if they could provide more solutions in identification of reserves for minerals and so on. So you must be able to sit down carefully to connect all this and give it a well thought through and think well of what to say. I get it. So you could see that when you started, you were not convincing to me personally. So I will need you to be more convincing. Start with strength, with motivation. And once you can capture our minds within 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes, that's all. If you cannot capture the mind of the interviewer within 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes, the rest of the interview will just be, I get it. So,
yes, sir.
So if you still have issue, we can have a separate discussion after everything, maybe tomorrow or something. I'm busy.
Okay, sir.
Since it's my field, it's when you want to come and do and you have to be interviewed, maybe I think I might have a little time to have a discussion with you around that. Is that okay?
That's okay. Very good, sir.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
So we go ahead with the next. So if the other people that were supposed to join us are not here, is there anybody? Dio spoke about people in management. I wasn't sure we had people in management, sorry. So do we have people in management? Okay, so Adediran, you have a question or what? I will ask you to unmute yourself. Adediran?
Oh, good afternoon. Good evening, sir.
Oh, good evening.
Okay. I said I want to be part of people that you are going to do interview for,
okay,
but you have not mentioned my name.
But take note, Adediran, I did not mention your name?
Yes.
Okay. Supposed to be with me?
I'm with you.
I think you're supposed to be with Mohammed.
Okay.
Go to Mohammed's room, please. Probably they've been looking for you. Okay. I'll meet you immediately. I don't go to Mohammed's room. Okay, so I think the people that were on my list are not present. So for that reason, we have done Ikeoma already, so other people on my list are not available. So we're going to take volunteers now. So if you want to volunteer to be on the spotlight, Okay, I think I will take peace now. So peace, we take peace. So I will, okay, peace, confidence, and do. So I write it down, peace. First, we have followed by confidence. We have Ado, Oyina, we have Theresa, we have Olu Damola, and we have Tutare, and then Sweba, we have Sweba. And Sweba, ensure that the kids are away from you because they were making noise all the time. Then Ahmad, okay, so we'll take this. So peace, we put peace on the spotlight and we listen to peace. So peace, unmute yourself. I will ask you to unmute yourself and you can go ahead. Peace, can you hear me?
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, Peace. So we'll put you on spotlight and we listen to you.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Peace. So Peace, tell us what you want to do masters on and where and why. And please.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. So over the years, I've been able to gather knowledge in mining geology. And I studied geology as an undergraduate, and I've been able to gather knowledge in mining geology, but focus on open pit mining. And I hope to get more knowledge in mining geology, but this time with focus on subsurface geology, subsurface mining, which is the reason I have to choose petroleum geology, with the hope that when I'm able to gather this knowledge and I'm able to advance, and being that petroleum geology is a dream profession for me, and having to do geology in my undergraduate puts me closer to achieving that dream. And I am certain and confident that when I'm able to achieve and bag a master's degree in petroleum geology, I'll be able to impact my knowledge to individuals that are willing, and also be a plus to the indigenous manpower that PTDF is trying to strengthen.
Okay.
And I didn't get the last part of your question, but I'm going to process them and answer accordingly. So the part of the question that said where I want to go and study. So I chose Germany because I believe that this country, they have the standards and they have the available resources to equip me with the necessary knowledge that I need to achieve my dream as a petroleum geologist. And the course I picked, yes, I said petroleum geology.
Okay, Please, why petroleum geology? Because you say you have experience with pit mining and so on. I'm really curious about why people want to go for petroleum geology, because you see that most of the jobs you see now and contributions you see, people don't recruit geologists again in the oil industry because it's more like there's a lot of transition with the renewable energy and so on. Why don't you think you need to stay back with mining geology? Because we have a lot of reserve when it comes to mineral, and then these are yet to even be fully explored or understood. Don't you think it would be more valuable to stay within the confines of mining geology than moving to petroleum geology?
Oh, well, you're right. Thank you very much, sir. Like I said, petroleum geology as a course is a dream. Petroleum geology is a dream profession for me. And I have been able to gather knowledge in mining geology aspect of geology. So I have been skilled as a certified geologist, which my undergraduate has been able to give to me, and a qualified tutor and digital manager, which I've been able to do post-graduation. However, these courses are very broad and vast. So I need petroleum geology for specialization and concentration. So I'll be able to focus and of course contribute largely to the economy and oil and gas sector of Nigeria, as opposed to just contributing to one private sector or me as an individual. So I can be able to gather that particular field because I know that it is much more valuable and resourceful.
Let me know, is somebody having question for Peace? Just type it on the chat box and I'll read it out. Hi, everyone. Is someone having question for Peace? So, Peace, now tell me about going to Germany. You have cultural differences, you have language barrier. How do you intend to survive with the language and doing the petroleum geology course?
Okay, first of all, thank you, sir.
So
First
I'm
of
coming,
all,
Peace, before you answer my question, I think I have Dr. Kayode.
Yes, I'm done with my group. You know, I'm popping out anytime soon. I just let me still stay before the other meeting starts. So I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, so all the PhDs out that were with Dr. Kayode, please go ahead to join the other groups of the PhD. We just need the masters here. And because Dr. Kayode will be leaving now, so you can go ahead to join other people. And so you can join either Dr. Hanley, Lukman, or Olushola, and then be part of it till we come back to the main room for everybody. I think they can go ahead to do that. So Dr. K, thank you very much. And
always welcome.
Yeah, and when you're ready to pop out.
let me leave now. Bye.
Thank you, bye. Okay, so please go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Well, maybe I forgot to mention something. I love to read and learn. I'm an open-minded individual, and I don't take challenge as a way to fault anything or back down. I am a doer. Whenever a challenge is being thrown to me, I take it heads on and I try to find solutions to it. So having this set of qualities and skills, I will be able to, it will help me take on courses in the language, to study the language. So it's definitely not going to be an issue for me. And for the schools that I applied for, some of the schools are willing to split their sessions. And what do I mean by that? They are ready to also tutor in English. But the fact of and the part of interaction with my fellow students, that's the reason I mentioned earlier that I am open-minded, I am willing to learn new things. And so it will only just make me learn new things and acquire new knowledge even after fulfilling my goal as with studying masters in petroleum geology.
So tell me about your future career. What's your future plan on long-term basis?
Okay, after I get my master's in petroleum geology, I intend coming back to Nigeria using a platform like PTDF already gives me the necessary platform to be able to network and connect with the key persons in the industry. So I hope to take on a role as a petroleum geologist, help to be resourceful and valuable in the oil and gas sector of Nigeria. Also, the knowledge that I will be able to get when I'm done with my master's, I intend to, like I mentioned earlier, I intend to impact this knowledge to individuals that will be willing, just like me, and open-minded to learn. So I intend to teach back and at the same time be valuable to the oil and gas sector.
Okay, so but what if you have a job in the mining sector after your studies? Wouldn't you consider that?
If I get you well, sir, you mean if I get a job in the mining sector?
Yeah.
Well, to answer this, I will first of all have to know if my qualifications are necessary in this mining sector, and it is going to be valuable for the economy of Nigeria at large. I will give it a consideration.
No, but mining, mineral mining, it's contributing to the general economy of Nigeria, so definitely it's going to be adding to the economy of Nigeria. But the only opportunity you have is to work with the mining industry with your petroleum geology knowledge. How can you connect that?
Oh, okay. I will just have to figure the relevance with what I have studied, the qualifications and skills I've been able to acquire. I need to spot the relevance to the mining industry, because like I said, my intention and my goal is to become a petroleum geologist. So if I'm able to bag a degree, my master's degree in petroleum geology, my intention is to actually get into the oil and gas sector of the country and contribute my quota with the knowledge I've acquired. So, but if a mining opportunity comes, it's just for me to spell out the relevance.
So what you're trying to tell me, you don't think that the knowledge in petroleum geology is valuable for mining, mineral mining in Nigeria in generally?
Well, it is because, I mean, when I am able to gather skills and knowledge, especially some part of mining, some that deals with extraction of minerals, for instance. But what I was just trying to mention is that why mining when I can actually do petroleum geologists, and when the oil and gas sector really needs me.
Okay. Okay, we'll stop here, give you my feedback, and then we take the next person. So, Peace, I try to put you in the corner trying to see how you could relate knowledge within petroleum geology and then general mineral mining. Now, you must understand geology is geology. And, and methods are transferable. Technologies are transferable from one sector to another sector. And the only difference is we have, when you talk about mining, mineral mining is just more of shallow type of drilling because it's not too completely well seated when you compare with the sedimentary terrain. Most minerals you see probably are within the basement. And if you go to certain part of the country where a lot of mining is done, the sedimentary cover there is just probably just few meters. And then you can hit the basement, and that's where they could be able to do this excavation, mining, and a lot of stuff. But then when you're talking about the petroleum, you're talking about drilling down to 1 kilometer depth, which is way too down there. But then technologies are actually transferable. In the mining industry, you can look at using things like the electric resistivity, magnetic methods, and so on. And these are also tools that and technology you also use in the oil and gas sector to complement seismic acquisition, well loggings, and all these things. So you must sit down and connect the two. They are all actually interrelated. So that's all I was trying to ensure, that to pull you to the point to know that these things are related. Are you getting it?
Yes,
so
sir.
Do not give me an answer or give your interviewers an answer by pushing one sector aside. No. Well, you should be able to talk about knowledge transfer from petroleum geosciences to mineral mining, because there's a lot of interest on trying to diversify the economy, and part of the country's budget, some might go into mining because they were interested in also building that sector as well. So you should be able to transfer the knowledge from petroleum geoscience back to mining. And those are some of the comments we made with regards to when Emmanuel spoke.
Okay, sir.
You get it? Okay,
Yes,
so let's take the other people so that we'll be able to cover a bit before we join others. So we take, I think the second person was...
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so the next person I can see on my screen here is Theresa. Theresa, I'm going to ask you to mute. Hi, Theresa.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, Theresa. So we put it, yeah, good day. How are you? Okay, so we can hear you. So you have to speak much a bit louder. Yeah.
Okay. Is
Okay.
it better?
It's better. I think you have a background noise probably. Okay, Theresa. Tell us what you want to do in masters and which country.
Okay, I'm doing a master's in biochemistry or environmental public health, and I picked the UK for my master's.
So tell me, a master's in biochemistry, how relevant is it to the oil and gas sector?
Okay, the relevance of biochemistry to the oil and gas sector is majorly to the people who are affected by the emissions from the oil and gas sector. It's not directly to production, but it's related to alleviating the pain of the people that has come from oil exploration, oil spill, and all of that. That's basically where biochemistry comes into the oil and gas sector.
So how do you intend to apply this knowledge to the oil and gas sector?
Okay, basically, doing a master's in biochemistry or environmental public health, I want to focus more on bioremediation and how to increase lifespan of those who live in these areas where oil exploration takes place. Bioremediation in the sense that since oil spill sometimes it cannot be controlled or doesn't even have a specific cause, then there should be a way to sap up those things so they don't affect the people. And then since carcinogens are mostly emitted from these explorations and industrial waste from the oil and gas sector, then looking at the way of bringing in help to the health of the people is where the other parts of environmental health will come in.
Okay. So where do you, when you come back to the country and you don't find yourself in the oil and gas sector, which other sector do you think you can work in line with the objective of this organization?
Okay, the health sector would be if there's Ministry of Health and Ministry of Environment, because these two ministries work hand in hand with the petroleum and gas sector in order to ensure that whatever is coming up from the petroleum and gas sector doesn't affect the people, because in as much as we're trying to improve the economy from the oil and gas sector, the people are also priority. So whatever we're doing, we're also looking at the masses that are in this environment and how these things affect them. So the health sector and the environmental sector would be a very good place to.
So, and you chose to go to the UK, am I correct?
Yes.
Why not France or Germany?
Okay. First off, I researched about facilities in certain schools in the UK. I chose University of Salford and I chose King's College. And these schools were known to have high-end research opportunities, according to first-hand reports from a friend who has also studied there. It explains that going with these schools gave them an opportunity to have broad connections to industries that give you an opening to do your research properly. And then there are facilities that help you, because going through my undergraduate experiments and research, we had issues of facilities. And this was because some were not working and some of our samples had to be transported to other states just for completion of our research. So these schools were stated to have the best facilities and would also help my research. And then the language gap would also not be a problem going to this school.
Okay. Okay. So language gap will not be a problem. That means you don't believe in diversity and being an international, because when you come back to the country, we can decide to send you to Germany or France to go and do a training. So you feel in the near future you have issues with that?
Oh, I believe in diversity, and learning other languages are not really a problem. The major reason why I had to choose this school was because I feel they would best help my research, since I have a first-hand testimony that, okay, yes, what I actually need to carry out certain types of research that would aid my study is actually there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Theresa. So I will stop here, Theresa. I'll take another person and I will give a general feedback. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll take another person, Oludamola. So we'll take Oludamola, and then Oludamola, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon, Joshua.
Good afternoon. How are you? So
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing?
So tell me, if you are not selected for PTDF.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you please repeat?
So if you're not selected for this scholarship, what will happen?
I have a job, right? So I'll keep as a cloud security engineer. So continue devising means to secure systems, computer systems, computer infrastructure in the cloud and on premises, right? And also, I have certifications in security, cybersecurity. I keep gaining more experience, getting certified and ensuring the safety and security of computer systems.
So tell me about cybersecurity. Do you think we currently have issue around cybersecurity in Nigeria? And what do you think you can contribute in the near future with regards to that after your master's degree?
Yep. So one area on one good advantage of studying cybersecurity is that you're able to offer your services to multiple firms at the same time, right? You're able to compare their infrastructures, their architecture against security-based practices, identify the gap and advise them on ways to improve their security posture, as well as train their users on best security practices. All right. So I've worked for organizations, even oil and gas firms, and I won't say not much effort is placed into security because most of the systems they use originally were not built for security. They were just built for functionality and performance. But in recent times, those systems have become interconnected. I mean being connected to the internet, right? And whenever a system is connected to the internet, there's the possibility, it will be hijacked by cyber attackers, because we've had a major cyber attacks in the oil and gas industries in recent times. So this. If I'm awarded scholarship, right, I'll be able to gain more experience, technical know on how to protect critical infrastructure and assets in the oil and gas industry as well as the users.
Okay. So I think I will stop here for your question. I'll take one more person. We have at least 3 minutes for everybody to join us. Is that okay by you, Ulu? Sorry, I was shutting your name. Is that okay? So we'll take Sweba. Hi, Sweba. I'm unmuting you. We're taking you now.
Hello.
Hi. We're going to take Sweba. Okay, if she's not there, okay, Ado, you can go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Okay.
Can you hear me, sir?
Hello.
Okay, I think Sweba is around. Okay, let's take Sweba and we take you, Ado. Is that okay?
Hello,
Right.
good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Sweba. So, Sweba, can you tell us the field you want to do your master's degree?
Yes. I want to pursue my master's in renewable energy,
Why renewable energy?
which I have acquired skills in the past because my past has prepared me well for this chosen career. I left university with excellent qualification in renewable energy, where I have a track record of achievement in renewable energy research.
So
For
tell me
instance,
the research you did, yeah. Go ahead.
For instance, during my undergraduate research days, I undertook my project on energy production potential of poultry droppings and how safety the gas it is to the environment.
So are you saying you used poultry droppings to generate electricity or something?
Yes, I generate gas that can be used for both electricity and cooking.
Okay, okay. So so you have a device that you guys have innovated now, or what? Tell us more.
Yeah, I worked with an engineering student whom I designed a digester for, that is the platform in which I will use to produce that gas, and he have helpfully designed it for me, and I use it to produce that gas. I inoculated the gas for 3 weeks, and the gas production began at exactly the 4th week.
So and you were able to generate some
Yes, I
electricity.
able to generate gas, but the research couldn't stop there because most advanced countries can inoculate the products within the day, and the following day gas production would start, which I believe I don't have enough skills and qualification to forward this career. Rather, I'm appealing, or I'm looking for a better qualification that will help me achieve my goal of being a model in renewable energy to help Nigerian energy sustainability.
So if I get you, what you're saying is you designed a machine that an engineering student assisted you to do. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you currently have the machine at home and it's working.
The school couldn't give me back because they purchased it after my research work.
So what you're saying is you were the one that designed it, which means you should have been able to reproduce one that you can keep, we can make reference. So do you have pictures on how it works somewhere that you can show to us?
Yes, I have.
Okay, well, we'll be glad to see it. So what I'm saying now to you as a response is, if you have something like that, you should take a picture or a video of it, show the view, so that people can be able to understand what you're actually saying and it's true.
Okay.
So if we can see it with our eyes, we can see Super operating it,
Yes.
And it shows that Sueva is a potential innovator. And
Yes.
if we give such a person scholarship, we should be glad that tomorrow she can contribute effectively to Nigeria.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so I think now, okay, I promise Ado. So I think Ado, go ahead. There's somebody I'm more interested about, Michael Ayobami, who Michael said he studied accounting and he applied for MSc in supply chain management. So I'm really interested in having a discussion maybe generally with everybody. Once Michael, please be online when we'll be talking with everybody. So Ado, Oina, go ahead. Ado, are you with me? Hi, Ado.
Yes, I good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So tell me the master's, which field do you want to do a master's degree and why?
Okay, I hope to get a master's degree in synthesis, catalysis, and sustainable chemistry from the University of Lyon in France.
Why did you choose Lyon and why France?
Okay, because I've carried out detailed research on the University of Lyon, and they qualified learning facilities, they equipped laboratories that will help me to fast track my research process, and also traveling to France to pursue my master's degree will help me to crossbreed ideas with other researchers from other parts of the world. That will help to broaden my horizon and knowledge.
So, but do you think language is going to be a barrier when you come to France, do you?
Actually, language will not be a barrier to me because I feel it will be a new challenge for me to brace up, sit up, and face the challenge head on. And I've had some background of French in my secondary school days, so I'm not totally alien to French. So it's just required for me to brush up my knowledge and face the challenge.
Okay. So if we don't give
Yes,
you scholarship, what will you do?
okay. I'll keep researching. I'll collaborate with other local researchers within the country, Nigeria, the other public universities to keep the dream alive, to ensure that the vision I have was carrying out research.
Okay, so I think I'm going to stop here because everybody is back. We have 17 to 18 minutes. So I will give a general comments to everybody. So like I said, I'm interested in, is Michael Ayobami around? Michael, I need you to raise your hand. Please, can everybody drop his hand so that when Michael raises, I can see. So Michael. So hi, Michael. I think I welcome everybody, all the facilitators. I'll ask you to unmute when it's necessary to comment. So Michael, I'm asking you to unmute so that we'll have a discussion with you before we question. Hi, Michael.
All right. Good evening, sir, and good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening. So the reason I'm to the other facilitators, the background is noisy.
Sorry, I didn't get that. You said what, sir?
The background is noisy.
Yes, I'm actually in transit. I'm kind of heading home now, so it will get better. Let me just quickly rush inside.
Okay, so
sorry,
let us know
sorry.
when the inside while we discuss with other people. Okay.
Just a minute, sir. A minute, sir. A minute, sir. I'll get to a very quiet place. Just a minute.
Okay, so while he's getting to the place he wants to get to, thank you to everybody. I think the sessions were great for everyone. And it's quite good, I would say, and the responses are quite encouraging. But I think what you need to work on, it's to improve your level of connection of what you know before and what you want to do, and how is it relevant for the near future. So most, like I stated earlier, the people that will be in your panel are experts in your field. So that's why you will see that all the teams, you're divided into different teams. If you're going for petroleum geoscience, you meet experts in petroleum geoscience. If you're going for engineering, you're going to the team of engineering. So you meet professors in engineering, you meet industry experts in engineering to have a discussion with them. So it's important to know that you're not meeting somebody that studied sociology to interview you on with regards to engineering aspect. No, everything is going to be based on, because they're trying to select the best of the best that they could select. So it's important. So the reason I said I wanted to talk with Michael is because Michael apparently is the first time seeing somebody in accounting being shortlisted for PTDF, and he's going for supply chain. So that's why I want to have a discussion with him to see if from the other mentors we could add something to him. Michael, I can assume that you're at home now.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I'm at home now, sir.
So the mentors, you can unmute yourself and listen to Michael, and you can ask him questions as well. So I'll ask all the mentors to unmute, and you can ask him question where necessary if you have. So Michael, I'm really curious. You're the first time saying you studied accounting, and then you're going for master's in supply chain and management. So how is it relevant to the objectives of PTDF?
Basically, first of all, I would like to just say that I'm actually still in shock too for getting the scholarship, because I just saw it online and I just give it a try. So I really wasn't I was a bit skeptical about the whole issue. In fact, I asked someone on the platform too that did he or she apply? He said yes, but they didn't get, so I was so shocked. However, so basically down to your question, the relevance, supply chain management to the goals of PTDF, basically it's to the petroleum and oil and gas industry. Every business needs what's it called? Every industry has to do with either supply of goods or service. However, we are facing some basic challenges here in Nigeria, which has to do with transit, that's transportation infrastructure, the inventory management. And I feel as a master holder in this supply chain management, I would be able to, to bring in the knowledge which I must have acquired to cope this to fill this gap better still.
So do you think there's currently a problem around supply chain in Nigeria?
Yes, obviously there is a lot of problem down from each organization to the industry, then to Nigeria as a whole.
Tell me specifically two problems in supply chain in Nigeria.
As I said, we have something called problem in the transportation issue, which is the infrastructure, which has to do with which brings about a tedious way to transporting or to transiting goods and services and all that, and also the inventory management as well. The ports congestion in the Nigeria is one of the issues in supply chain management.
So how do you to contribute to port congestion?
Sorry, if I can assist you a little. So there's a colleague of ours, like in our cohort, who is studying supply chain currently. he's a PTDF scholar, and then he's studying supply chain currently. So I will try to look for his contact and see if he can help you. That is one. Now, when you talk of supply chain, it's not in isolation to logistics. The process of production, from the process of exploration, no, from the process of planning, exploration, transportation, selling, even down to the end use, has to do with supply chain and logistics. So I think you should look for the gap in between these places, and then use it to back up your claim as to why they should finance you. But I'm very sure there's a colleague of ours that's studying supply chain currently as a PTDF cohort. Supply chain is an integral part of the oil and gas. It's like it's a very strong aspect of oil and gas, and it's also a strong part of business. There's a lady who wanted to study something similar last year. I reviewed her SOP. She didn't scale through the interview stage. So your course is valid. This is like a form of encouragement to you. Try to look for the gap in between. Try to see the connection. What if you are practicing in this field, how it relates to oil and gas. I know it's not something that is common. I know PTDF gives a window to people who study management and this aspect of logistics. So there's PTDF, I think it's like 4 phases: engineering, sciences, management, and I think law. Like these are the 4 fields. So management was included not quite long, maybe like 2-3 years back. So management is one part that has been sponsored by PTDF. So we should try to look into what I've said, the logistic aspect. There's a high cost of fuel in the country because of subsidy removal. If there's any gap, or if there's a way that you feel supply chain can come in to reduce the cost or to assist in one way or the other, I mean, anything is possible in as far as you can support your motivation with the required evidence, with what you've done in the past and everything. So
and then I think tell me about your previous background. You have a PhD in accounting. You have been working in the accounting, or you worked in another sector?
So basically, first of all, I would like to thank the previous responder on the advice. I really appreciate it. I look forward to the person's number you're about to give me. So basically, I have had a first class in accounting, and I've actually worked in basically an accounting firm, an IT firm, precisely, and what's it called, in the accounting department, basically, and real estate, one of the biggest real estate in Nigeria, Premier Development Company, as one of the accountants. However, as I said, it's still a shock for me to have gotten this scholarship, but I would definitely strive and.
Okay. Okay. No. You're in the right place. Don't be shocked. Okay, it's all part of the business. And you should be fine.
I think he's just shocked that, when you're shocked that probably you have not prepared for something, then you're shocked.
Exactly.
And then, but please do not tell them that you're shocked, please, on the day of the interview. That you're really shocked that you just apply supply chain and you found yourself there. Please don't tell them that at all. You have to show that you establish the connection as much as you can, like Mohammed said. Exactly. So I will allow, if the other people have something to contribute to you, then we can take the general questions if there are concerns, and then we'll call it a day.
That's what Innocent was saying something, but you are muted.
Okay, somebody. Okay, Lukman, yeah, I think you're muted.
Oh yes. I guess I missed some seconds, but I think it's about general overview, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it was a good experience, and from my reviews,
we want you to contribute to Mike
Sundays.
first, then we'll take the general overview.
I should contribute to what? Sorry, I missed that.
To Michael Ayobami, who is coming in for supply chain with the
Supply chain.
Sorry, I missed that. I wasn't. I wasn't there. I tried to do something quick. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought it was about my session now.
Okay, no, I think we'll take the question, then we'll give the general comments to everybody. So please, if you have questions, I think we will take 5 questions at least, and then we'll have the general overview from the mentors, and then we can wish you guys the very best. And we'll hear from you when the list is finally out to see how many people are successful. We have 132 people that attended this section, and we will be glad if at least we'll have a success rate of 50, 60, 70, or 100%.
Absolutely.
Yes, so we'll take 5 questions. I already see the 5 hands, so I'll take it one after the other. So Nuruddin Olalere, please go ahead and ask your question, and then the faculty will answer you. Nuruddin, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can
Hello.
hear. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead with your question.
Yes, thanks for the privilege. Sorry, I want to ask this question. Working on renewable energy, we know with more use of renewable energy, there will be lesser consumption of oil and gas. And PTDF money is oil money. So is the proposal not working against the prospective sponsor? I would like to see what you can say about that. I have 3 questions actually, but I would like you to answer this one before I say the remaining questions.
Anybody having a response for him?
Okay, yeah. Actually, his question is absolutely valid. And one of the things I have always tried to tell people who are talking about renewable energy is that you have to be absolutely careful about what you propose. Because we are, at the moment, an oil economy. And if you go there and criticize oil and gas, okay, in reality, I'm not talking about what is on paper. In reality, oil is going to be very, very much around for the next 20, 30 years, no matter what happens, okay? But if you follow the media, they just keep talking about, renewable energy and that, what we're going to extract, alternative sources of energy and whatever. It's better to say, in terms of our revenue generation, what you are proposing should serve as an alternative source of income, to augment, the oil and gas industry, rather than just saying, oh, renewable energy. So if we produce if we generate electricity from wind energy in the northern part of Nigeria, for example, and export that to other African countries, you are supplementing. You are not really criticizing everything. So it's just a simple advice. His question is valid, and it's a simple advice for those who are talking about renewable energy. Whatever it is, just say that you're supplementing, you're adding value, rather than just criticizing, what we have established based on oil and gas production and stuff like that.
I will come in, Dr. Anli. I think you should understand that even the oil companies, almost all the big players now are renewable companies, energy companies, not oil and gas companies. So you could see that Total has changed its name to Total Energy. I know Statoil has changed its name to Equinor. And almost all of them. Now, the reason is because they are factoring all forms of energy. I think last week I went to Austria for a conference, and we drive all through Germany. And one thing I've seen is Germany uses all forms of energy, and this is common to almost all the European countries. Now you have the oil and gas. Imagine we have a lot of solar panel base or solar panel stations in the northern part of Nigeria, where you have a lot of sun, imagine where you have wind turbines in part of Nigeria where you have this strong, crazy wind, let's say maybe around Zamfara, all those axes, you know, and all of this is contributing to the energy the nation. It is contributing, like Dr. Ali said, we're exporting this energy to the other neighboring countries. So just read around how you could augment to the oil and gas sector, because PTDF is interested in everything that has to do both with the oil and gas, with the environment, with the energy sector generally. So just make your points right as much as possible. So I think Nuruddin.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Gideon, I think Nuruddin will take another.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, so Nuruddin, we're going to take a question from another person. Is that okay?
Hello, hello, I'm still with you.
Do you have another question?
Hello? Yes, I have another question. Can you hear me?
Very fast, go ahead, hurry up.
Yes, thank you. Please, I want to know the mode of the interview. Is it going to be a sort of relaxed mode, as maybe you're going to sit down and interact, or you're going to use maybe like a projector presentation or something? Just can you tell me how it's been done?
You sit down and discuss with them over a table.
Okay, thanks for that. There's one thing that I'm still not very clear about with this proposal. Like in the room that we were today, I think we did some mock presentation of proposal, and I saw somebody writing aims and objectives. Is it possible for a single proposal, to have many aims? For someone to write aims and objectives?
I don't really understand your question. Is it like you put it in bullet points or what?
No, as in writing in the proposal that the proposal has aims, not just a single aim. Aims and objectives. Is that okay?
It's okay. It's okay. I think you're saying it's one aim. No. You might not. Research is not meeting to only one thing. Huh? It's a path.
Yeah.
That will solve a lot of things. Yeah.
Okay. Like I have a contrary view to that.
Okay, go ahead, Tolishola.
Because I think that actually happened in my section. I saw something like that in one of the.
Yes, yes, I'm in your section. Yeah.
Aims, and in my own opinion, it is not in order. It should be aim and objective. Every research you have is single aim. You have one focus. Then the objective are now how you want to achieve the aim. So you can have several objectives, stating how you want to achieve that singular aim. So it should be just one aim, then some other objective can be maybe 2, 3, 4. So that's my opinion about that.
So I agree with you. It's like I said, it's a pathway. You have like a final destination. So that's what Dr. Shola called as the main aim. That's a final destination. But there, along as you're moving the final destination, you're solving a lot of things, which I think the objectives can really come true. Is that okay? So please, we'll take Gideon.
Yes.
Gideon, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, thank you for the privilege. I want to ask a question regarding, currently I'm a lecturer, like an assistant lecturer in one of the universities. I want to, I'm aspiring to be, to go into the economic impact, the economic aspect, because I'm an economist. And my proposal is speaking about the impact of economic impact of technological advancements into the oil and gas industry. But however, I don't know while speaking about how this proposal, my objective fits into that of PTDF or personal long-term goals after the program. Is there need for me to mention this area that I am lecturing currently, or is it going to reduce my chance or something? Maybe hoping that I ought to get other source of funding from the university itself.
So Gideon, being a lecturer, if I should know that being an academic person, you already have percentage for academic people coming from the university.
Come again, sir. I didn't hear you, sir.
So PTDF have a way they divide the entire thing. If you're a lecturer, you have higher chances of getting a funding than somebody that is completely not working but wants to do a PhD probably. The reason being the fact that because you're being an academic person, you're completely absorbed into research, and we expect that when you go and do the PhD, you're expected to come back to your university to contribute to generally to research and then to the academic world. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a particular percentage that academic, people coming from academic will occupy within their ward. So please mention you are already in the university. Is that okay, Gideon? I'm not sure Gideon is with us. Hi, Gideon. Hi, Gideon. Okay, I think it's off. So, Bosede Folashade, go ahead. Bosede.
Good evening, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me the privilege to speak. I have a background in industrial chemistry 2-1, and I applied for biomass and waste for energy and material. So my question is, I really don't have experience in the aspect of biomass and recycling of waste into valued materials and energy sources. So will that affect my chance of getting the award?
Yeah, the faculty can answer, huh?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Somebody will answer you. One of the faculties will answer you.
All right, thank you.
Anybody having an answer for her? Okay, Andy, it's on mute. Dr. Andy, you can go ahead.
Yes, please. So Bosede, yeah. It's a very simple. You don't have to go there and display your weaknesses. What you're going there is to display your strength. So you know your strength, you know what you applied for, you know what you want to do. Okay, concentrate on your strength. Okay, forget about the fact that you don't have any experience in anything. Okay, that's why we're all learning. We're all building ourselves. So concentrate on your strength. What you know you can do. That is what you're going to present to or to defend yourself there before the panel. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, Ikeoma, go ahead, please. Ikeoma, go ahead.
Okay, please, I want to ask, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I have some questions I want to ask. First of all, talking about the certificates, the awards you've gotten and all that, what if I have an extra course I've done, maybe like an online course I've done, and I've gotten the certification on that particular thing, and it's relevant to my study, like I'm going for chemical engineering, while I'm focusing on, I want to focus my research on biorefining. Then I've also done some online courses on renewables and the economic impact.
Mention it when you're answering your question.
Okay, I shouldn't go with the papers.
No, you can
go the certificate.
You can go with it and mention it when you're speaking. So, but in case you want to confirm, do you have a proof to that? Then you can pick that from your documents.
Okay. Then secondly, what if like you mentioned some of the scholarships you've gotten over the years? What if the scholarship I've gotten, it's not like a nationally recognized scholarship? Let's say someone organizes a scholarship program for, there is this guy who was vying for a particular position in the House of Assembly. He organizes scholarships and all that, and I was a beneficiary. I have a certificate on that. Can I also tag it by going?
Well, was it a competition?
Yeah, it was. It was a competition. We wrote exam for it.
Oh yeah, you take it.
Okay, and lastly, my interview, I'm from Southeast, I'm from Abia State precisely, but I chose Port Harcourt because it's quite, I'm saying Port Harcourt. So I chose it as my interview center. Since the scholarship is the peak per state, will it affect my, am I supposed to do it? Okay. Okay.
So they will, if you like, you're from Northwest, you go and do your interview in Port Harcourt. Not because all results will be sent to PTDF and then there will be, it will be ranked. You see? So if you do your interview in Lagos or Port Harcourt, it does not matter. Just go there and just blow the minds of the interviewers and they will give you 100 marks. Imagine you have 100 marks and
I'm claiming it already. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you so much.
Okay, Ado Oida, go ahead, please. We're taking you. Ado.
Thank you so much for the privilege to ask my question. I want to ask, what are some of the questions that we can put before the panel of interviewers? Some of the likely questions that we can ask them.
Okay, thank
Hello,
you.
sir.
Yeah, we're with you, don't worry. I'm trying to other people.
Yes. Thank you. I don't remember who asked the question, but I just want to say something. First, I want to clarify that for those who have been answered, we still see hands up. Please just look at your screen and try to lower your hand. And I was also going to mention that there are some questions in the chat. I could try to, in one sentence, just clarify all of those. And I think the question you asked was already asked in the message. So I think it's about what kind of question can we ask the interview panel. Yes. So my direct answer is yes. And this is what I always encourage, that you have to try to be in tune with the people who are interviewing you. Just very early on, try to make sure you are in, that rapport, you need to create it just immediately. And when you are well in tune with this, you will be able to ask questions based on the situation. So it can actually depend on the situation. I have experience in situation where the interview I spent forever preparing for, in a very short time, they said, we are done, you can go. And I could not swallow it. So I said, excuse, I have a question. How am I sure that you have gotten what you're looking for? And these are my exact words. So what I want to pick here is that my question was based on my situation. All right. Nevertheless, if this is not your case, yes, feel free to ask things like, we have other things when you go for interview, but I think what comes more naturally is when you ask questions that is beneficial for you, that is not out of the scope. All right. And that's why I asked that you have to be in tune with what is happening and try to be in good connection with the people who are interviewing you in a very simple way, not like interrogating them, but just to, help me understand. Can I be sure that you have gotten what you're looking for? In this way, they can easily know that you want to just confirm that they got that. So you're free to ask questions so long it's relevant for the purpose of your interview. Try to be respectful with it, and you know how all of this can go. I'm speaking in the context of PTDF interview specifically. I hope that answers your question.
All right, sir. Now,
if I'm
yes, okay, I have one more question.
Okay, we have to take orders.
One more question,
so
sir.
I wanted to say this, and thank you, Dr. Joshua, for mentioning this. I was going to say that if possible, we want to encourage everyone else to try and prioritize your question. Prepare one good question. When it's your turn, ask the very important question you want to ask, because I know there can be several questions from each person, so that we can be able to go around. That's just what I want to have. One good question from one person. That could be helpful.
Olani, go ahead, please. Olani.
All right, good evening. Well done. Actually, you guys are doing a very great job. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Perfect.
All right. So my question is, according to the online scoring card, are they going to ask questions in that format following the online scoring card you've displayed for us? And my second question is, how many copies of the document are we expected to go with? For example, the statement of purpose, how many copies am I to present to the panels?
I think you can make maybe at least 5 copies of your documents. The panels can be 4, 5, 6, but at least make 5, 6 copies of each of the documents. It all depends on the number of people you see on your panel. Huh? Is that okay, Olani? And I'm really not sure of the question he asked the first time. I didn't get it. Did any of the faculties get the question he was asking the first time? Okay, I think we take another person. Okay, go ahead, James Boyede. James Boyede. If James, hi. Okay, if James is not there.
Hello.
Yes, James, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. So my question is around I think one thing that has been recurrent is that talking about your awards is very important. So in a situation where you've been a beneficiary of an award in the past, but you probably didn't pick up the offer due to some other reasons. So maybe you declined the offer, but you have the proof of offer. Did you mention that in the interview as part of the previous awards that you've benefited from?
So you did not use the award, you declined it. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm not really sure. Anybody having an idea about that? Because you did not benefit from it. So.
Okay, let me say something about that. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
in my own opinion, I think you should be silent about that because it is not positive.
Yes.
Because PTDF may also think that if they give you this award, you can also decline it. So it is not a positive one. You should only declare an award you got and you enjoyed, not the one you got and you declined. It's not positive. Thank you.
Okay, so Shay. Okay, no, sorry, not Shay. Unity. Unity Ekube.
Thank you, sir. Evening, doctor. I just want to ask pertaining if you're already there, assuming you got a scholarship and maybe the school you applied to they advertise for a fully funded program. Is it possible to run the two together like that? That PTDFC sponsor you while the one you apply for is fully funded over there?
No. You only take one and run with, and part of what you're going to sign is you are only going to benefit only this funding. That's what you're signing. Is that okay?
Okay, then, all right.
So either you select PDF or you go for the other one.
Okay, then second, I want to ask about this renewable energy, although I've gotten explanation that because I was actually thinking, because I'm working on producing hydrogen fuel, which is like an alternative to fossil fuel. So although he has said it's not contradicting, because we should be thinking about going to that too, because so that when it totally phase out fossil fuel, we should have something to do. So I want to still ask, is he not still going to contradict or they
No.
say, well, I can still go around it to still make it look nice to them?
No, I don't think it's going to contradict, because I can tell you with authority that every oil company is doing research now on oil and gas. Okay, oil and gas is not really more of research, they're doing more production. And a lot of money is going into CCUS, hydrogen production, geothermal energy.
Okay. Wind and solar.
So wind,
Solar.
and so on. So please present your case well, but do not say, oh, we want to phase out oil and gas. No, these are alternative energy sources, like we said. Very good. Okay. Okay. Oh, I think we've spent extra time, and we really need in the next 5 minutes to, I think we have to close we've spent a lot of time. Shayi, go ahead, please. We'll take Shayi as the last person, and then we'll take the comments of the faculty. And then please, if you have any other question, drop it on the WhatsApp group, and then we'll respond to it accordingly. So Shayi, go ahead, please. You're the last person.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak. I study mathematics, and presently a research executive, like my current role, what I'm doing, a research executive in a market research company. So my SOP is about data analysis, because that's what I'm actually doing as well in my place of work. But when I was applying, my choice of school, I could not find data analysis there. So I picked petroleum data management. So I don't know, is there any implication, since looking at the SOP and what I picked for the school?
So what you're saying is your SOP does not match the course you picked, is that correct?
Yes, but I feel like I can get to divert and relate it as well. But I don't, since it does not match in the
I think in the first instance, your SOP is supposed to be according to what you're applying to. So if you're applying to the data management, generally, data management is more around, I think, data engineering and so on. So you're a mathematician, you can do it. It's all in the same model, the same family. I get it.
Okay.
So speak more around both your expertise in data analysis, data science, and then data management. So go and read about it and discuss everything within that family.
Okay. Then my second question, please. Is it possible for me to, because I was seeing something like your publication and proposals, is it possible for me to present my work proposal, like what I've been doing at work, because we have a lot of clients to get to work with, to carry out research on their market trend, and so is it possible for me to present that?
Is it published?
No, it is what we give to our clients. We don't get to publish it out.
Then those are client data that's not even supposed to be out.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So I wouldn't want you to come to my interview with somebody's client information when probably you've signed an NDA.
Okay. Thank you.
So what publications are what is already in the public? So
we don't get to publish that in my own department, in my own domain. We don't get to publish anyone out. It's just to work with our clients.
So if you have done extensive data analysis and so on, do you have a GitHub account where you have samples of work you use public data from the public domain and you have it there?
Yes, I think I have. I have something like that.
Then probably you can, that's already on the public domain, but please don't carry company thing to an interview. But Dr. Lukman wants to talk. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you. So I just want to include this, and also because there is a question in the chat about this. If you can include your CV. It's very important to continue to emphasize that it's an opportunity to just sell yourself by any possible means. So like what you're actually talking about now, I imagine you can carefully detail it in your CV in a very fantastic way that gives the message you want to pass and helps you to stand out. All right. So you can actually include your CV and help. From my understanding, you have a training in mathematics and you have experience in data analytics. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
These spells details, I mean, these are strengths for you if you organize them well in your CV. And you never can tell. Those panels could just pick your CV and begin to see some of your experience, expertise, things you've done, and that it goes on from there. So please put some, for the general response to even the question in the chat also, put your CV and make it look as fantastic as you can. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. So I think we'll just listen to the faculties as they give their closing marks, and then I think we'll have to call it a day. So the faculty, go ahead.
Okay, maybe I start.
Absolutely.
From my side, out of the 4 people I'm supposed to interview, I think just 3 of them appeared. And in my own judgment, I think from their presentation, they have what it takes to really get the award, because they are actually they presented with all clarity and they have a good knowledge of their study. But I had to point out 1 or 2 things. They also had to take into cognizance, which has to do with one of them have some typo errors, but typo error in the topic. So this should be avoided as much as possible. So I believe all of this should have been corrected earlier on. Right. It's an obvious error that can knock anybody out.
You can correct it before and print a new document to take it down.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. So correct. If you still notice error in your work, correct it. Take a copy along. So even if it was pointed out, because possible the interviewer will have a copy on their system. If they point it out, you can let them know you already take note of it. And this is an updated version. So they will know you already know about that. Then one question that will usually come is that why don't you consider doing your PhD in Nigeria? Somebody will ask you that, because I was asked that type of question in my day, that why are you going outside the country? So you must be able to give them a good answer for that. Not discriminating Nigeria University, because from the responses I got, some of them were saying, oh, our university here do not have the facility. No, don't tell them they don't have the facility. You are indicting the government that they are not doing their work. You can let them, you can just tell them that you want, for the sake of exposure, for the sake of exposure, you want to go to a new environment. Maybe you did your 1st degree, 2nd degree in Nigeria, so you want a new environment where you can learn new culture. So, but not that our university are not good or we don't have the facility. Please don't say that. We should take note of that. Therefore, another thing that we should take note, be ready for, is that somebody can ask you that if you don't get the award, what will you do? If this award does not come, so you should also have an answer for that. That what's your plan? What are your future plans? Even if you don't get this PTDF award. So I think those are the major. Then, as much as possible, we should be we should speak with clarity in terms of raise our voice properly. Don't let the interviewer start asking you, what did you say? Can you repeat yourself? It's not too pleasant. So be clear from the beginning to the end. So thank you very much.
Okay. Then Dr. Hanley, it's Mohammed around. Okay, I'm unmuting you, Dr. Hanley. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I will just give a brief. Yeah, it was an amazing experience interviewing people. I think for those in my cohort, I had to ask them first, should I be nice or I should be very mean? And initially they said I should be very mean, and you just drill them. But later, I gave them that piece of advice, and I'm giving it generally here as well, that the most significant part of your work is your methodology. Make sure that your work is doable, especially for the PhD. For the masters, you're going to be discussing your courses. Your research proposal is, if it doesn't have a way of showing that that work is achievable, then nobody will award you, to be honest with you. It has to be achievable, and then within the time frame that you're going to be given. It's basically 36 months, or some, I hear that now they've started giving 48 months. So it's very important. And like Dr. Shola has said, it's your day. You have to prove it. You have to prove to them that you are worthy, of going for a PhD or going for master's abroad, because you're going to be an ambassador of PTDF. So yeah, so I wish you the very best of luck. And for those in my cohort as well, I did say I was going to drop my email, but you can just contact me on the group page and we can sort that out. So all the best.
Okay, Lukman, go ahead, please.
Okay, so it was actually at our end, we had for the 4 proposals I had, we started by having a general presentation where I actually talk about how they should prepare and what to expect from the interview and what your proposer is expected to have. It appears that there are more people in my group who want to add more proposals, but because we're trying to have the sample interview, we went with only the 4, but we also tried something else, which is actually to go over some of the things expected in the proposal. So what I did with my people, which I had a small slide to follow up with this, is to allow them to be able to themselves interrogate their own proposal and know when something is wrong with it, understanding what is expected. I know Dr. Handy just mentioned very importantly that one core aspect of your work will be the methodology, which in the terms we described in my group is how do you expect to carry out your research, right? That's some of the questions. How the part that answer this question is your methodology. And I've always advised, if possible, have a pictorial illustration of this idea. It could be a framework that you want to propose, show the components and how they interact with each other. I can tell you from the very last time and every other time this idea has been tried, that this, and I'll tell you the reason, this has been very helpful, and the reason is simple. You see, in that interview, it's a small opportunity to sell yourself at all costs and to build that edge, because you need to have an edge. It's competitive to accept it. So it will make it a lot easier for them to understand what you're trying to propose, everything in one big picture, than having to read between the lines, which they actually won't. It will be difficult because they don't even have the time. That 10, 15 minutes, I don't know how many minutes, a picture will actually deliver a million words. And that's why I always encourage, have a pictorial illustration of your work. It could be a methodology or whatever you have. These are some of the highlights of what we discussed. And as I always said, for the interview, I mean, it's important that you demonstrate core knowledge of the work, and it should always be adaptive. Make sure you're in tune with the environment. Adaptive because so some people complain that they prepared and they expect it to be very long and so on, and everything happens so fast, which is very common. Maybe other people have similar experience. Understand when you have to break down things and when you have to directly respond to each question. Know what the question requests of you and know where to touch. This is very important, and this is when you're actually in tune with your interviewer. That's all from me. I will just stop it here, not to make it any longer. Thank you. And I wish you guys all the best.
Thank you, Doc. Mohammed, are you around? Hi, Mohammed. Okay.
Okay, so in recap to what we've discussed so far, like what I told those who were with me, try to keep it simple, use a STAR approach. If possible, have like a short script with a very fluid, good introduction, because I noticed that some people were starting in a very unorganized way. So have a good introduction to start, use a STAR approach, talk about the situation at hand, go to the task, what background do you have, your professional experiences that are aligned to this field, go to the action. When you go overseas to study, what you intend to achieve. If you want to meet some research experts, if their current research area in that particular university that you want to be a part of, if there are organizations you want to volunteer for, it's part of the task. Talk about it. The action is when you come back, your post-study career goals. Try to motivate those interviewing you. Talk about your post-study career goals, the things you intend to achieve. For some people, you're always talking about going back to the research or the academia. No, if you want to become a senator, talk about it. It's not bad for a senator to be educated, to have an MSc through PTDF. One of the major aims of PTDF is to empower local manpower through academic research. So it's still part of it. So most of you talking about going back to the lab, going back to the research. No, you can go to the industry. You can branch out to consultancy. Don't limit yourself to going back to research, going back to the lab, going to do a PhD. No, that's not the only essence of an MSc. Through an MSc, you can specialize in another field. Maybe you studied mathematics in your bachelor and you want to specialize in maybe computer science for MSc. You can go in this direction and then tell them the link between what you want to study and the oil and gas. Please try to broaden your mind to the bigger picture. They want to produce, they want to present some of the best candidates, on a global stage. Yes, because when you are performing on the global stage, PTDF will come to take the glory tomorrow. If you have a patent, yes, they want to share in this because they sponsored you. So please go there with an open mind. Yes, be as expressive as possible, and then with the last R, the result you tend to achieve. So please, if you can put this in a very good perspective, in a brief, concise way, I think you are good to go. So you shouldn't be scared. You must not have 100 publications. No, it's you must not be the best student in your graduating class. No, so this is where talent would differentiate people. So the ability to present, to sell yourself, gives you. Someone was stammering in my session, and I told that guy, you can leverage on this. PTDF wants to promote inclusion and diversity. So you can come in there if you can sell yourself well and have a good recap of this, then you are good to go. So this is all from me. Yes, we can connect through. I'm not really active on social media. Maybe I can drop my email address and from there. So thank you.
Okay, so thanks to everyone. I think the sessions were almost everything that's discussed across all the groups are in common. And I think almost everybody have spoken well. And I think each of those that we interviewed have gotten some level of feedback. But if you still have some question and you still have some doubt, please go ahead, drop it in the chat box. For those, one thing I would do is, I think on the WhatsApp group, we'll drop the emails of all the faculty, and you can reach out to them in case you have specific questions you want to ask specific persons. Please reach out to them, and we'll connect to all of us. We're on, I think all of us on, all of us on LinkedIn. You can connect to us and we can keep communicating. And we can only wish you guys the very, very, very best at the end of the day. So hopefully we have a good, I think one thing we'll do is place you part, because
stop, Joshua.
So we're interested in knowing our own KPIs by sharing links of you to fill in. So after this meeting, we'll put on the WhatsApp group just a Google form. So for people that have attended the sessions, we just want to know how many people have attended our sessions and have it, the analysis. And so that when you get shortlisted, we are also going to do something like that to know that you have attended our session, you've benefited a bit, and then we're glad that you have won the funding at the end of the day. So it's an important KPI for us at the end of the day to be sure that all the time we have imputed, all the best we've tried to do for you guys is not just in vain, but at least even 1 or 2 people have gotten the funding at the end of the day. So I think from us, we can only wish you guys the very, very best. All the sessions were recorded. So once we're done, all the faculty will send in the videos to me. I'll put it on YouTube, and you'll have a link to it, and you can keep making reference in case you've forgotten something with regards to that. Okay, so I think at this point I can unmute us, and I think we can call it a day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All the best,
Thank
guys.
you so
Thank
much,
you
sir.
so much, sir.
Thank you very
Alana.
much. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
very
sir.
much.
We are
so
grateful.
Bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Bless you indeed. Thank you so much. Cannot take it for granted at all.
Thank you. God bless you. Just closing. Finish.
Yes, you can go ahead to drop the call. We're waiting for you guys to drop the call.
That's my food.
Yeah?
Yes, you can go ahead to drop the call. Just leave the call. Thank you. You can go ahead to drop the calls. I think some people literally forgot they were on Zoom call. Probably they're sleeping because it's been a long time.
Mom? No, Mom, what was Mama do?
Please go ahead and drop the call. Some have forgotten they're on the call, so you can go ahead to leave. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, maybe some people left their phones and are going to have their dinner or their shower.
No, yeah. I am actually going through the chat.
Oh, chats first.
Yeah.
I think we'll send that. Okay, so some people are still, I have to drop them one after the other, probably. Please, you can go ahead and drop so that I wouldn't drop you myself. Please go ahead and drop the call. Okay, I think I do that myself, drop people, and those that are going to sleep, we drop them. It's typical of Zoom meeting where you have a lot of people. I think Muhammad has dropped already.
Maybe he didn't know. Yes.
Yeah, he probably drops.
Yeah. I think we still have, we're 5 in number.
3 hours. I can't believe it. Therefore, I had to force my baby to sleep.
Thanks to my wife with the baby.
My wife went to work, you know. It was 1:45 and she was not sleeping. I just forced her. I was like, you must drink this milk. I just fed her 1 cup of milk. I forced her. And then I went and sang for her, and I was like, she started, I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. So it worked. Otherwise, no way. She would sit right here. She would sit right here and make sure she's pressing stuff.